Welcome back to Vetted Shorts, the channel where we sift through the extraterrestrial, the extraordinary, and the unexplained. Today we're diving deep into one of the strangest and most disturbing alien archetypes reported in modern UFO encounters. The insectoids, often referred to as the Mantis Beings. These entities have haunted the testimonies of abductees for decades, and their bizarre, deliberate presence in various close encounters has sparked heated debate among researchers and skeptics alike. Are they cosmic scientists, calculating priests, or something far more sinister lurking on the edge of human perception? Stay tuned, because you won't want to miss the unnerving details and jaw-dropping twists behind this particularly mysterious alien enigma. When we talk about alien archetypes, people usually imagine the big-eyed grays or the tall, stately Nordics. But then, suddenly, the narrative shifts. Abduction victims speak in hushed tones about towering beings, 7 feet or taller, with spindly limbs, triangular heads, and enormous, faceted eyes reflecting the light with a chill-inducing intelligence. According to these accounts, these are the insectoids, commonly described as resembling the humble praying mantis, except on a nightmare scale. So where does this so-called mantis archetype come from? Its most detailed source comes from the files of Linda Moulton Howe, a prominent investigative journalist and researcher, and a network of abductee testimonies collected around the world. Linda has spent decades cataloging and analyzing strange, coherent patterns among those who claim contact with these beings. Astonishingly, the core features, height, insectoid structure, triangular heads, and that unsettling sense of authority recur with uncanny frequency. To understand these beings, we need to step through both the physical descriptions and the behavioral traits that abductees have documented. Let's start with appearance. Physically, the insectoids are both beautiful in a predatory, otherworldly way and fundamentally disturbing to human instincts. Witnesses describe translucent and sometimes iridescent skin. Their bodies seem to bend in ways that defy the ordinary biomechanics we know from Earth animals. Their heads, triangular and narrowing to a point, loom over thin necks, and their eyes dominate the face, much like the compound eyes of an earthly insect. When witnesses meet their gaze, it's described as both hypnotic and terrifying, as if the alien understands everything about you in a single glance. The arms are elongated and jointed backwards at the elbows, often ending in multi-fingered hands or even claws. Their movements are slow, deliberate, and precise, every gesture calculated and purposeful. Behaviorally, the Mantis Beings stand apart from other reported visitors. They rarely act as frontline abductors. Instead, they seem to function as supervisors or overseers, observing or directing the classic gray beings during abductions or experiments. It's as though the grays are the technicians or foot soldiers, while the insectoids are the supervisors, or, as some abductees call them, the doctors or the priests. Those who have witnessed Mantis Beings during their experiences often describe an atmosphere of ritual, almost religious solemnity. Some claim the shape and movement of the insectoids evoke the air of a high priest or a scientific overseer, meticulously cataloging data. Let's delve into the reports chronicled by Linda Moulton Howe. In several of her interviews, abductees describe being led into cold, metallic rooms where the mantis figures preside over procedures, watching silently, often communicating telepathically. The mental impressions are not comforting. Many report feeling an icy intellectual curiosity from the insectoids, devoid of warmth or malice, simply studying humans with the calm detachment of a scientist examining specimens. But here's the twist. Despite the apparent neutrality in their actions, witnesses often report a gnawing instinct during encounters. Mistrust, fear, and a sense that these beings are enacting a project so far beyond human reasoning that to understand it might drive one mad. The insectoid agenda appears neutral on the surface, but dig deeper, and the pattern suggests something more ambiguous, perhaps even malevolent. While some abductees have reported visions or communications of cosmic unity or ecological messages, many more feel positioned as lab rats, studied and manipulated for reasons never disclosed. Are these Mantis Beings running a cosmic experiment? Are they custodians of life, conducting genetic engineering for the benefit or detriment of humanity? Or are they the high priests of an agenda that humans can neither interpret nor resist? Let's talk about the element of control. Many accounts claim the Mantis aliens preside over interspecies communication aboard abductee craft. They are said to manage or moderate the behavior of other beings during an abduction, sometimes appearing only when things escalate, almost as if to keep the proceedings in check. If you're starting to feel unnerved, you're not alone. The idea of an emotionless alien scientist, blending religious rituals and cold observation, presses directly on our deepest fears. Loss of control, loss of agency, and the sense of being at the mercy of a mind utterly alien. Why mantis? Why not any other insect? The praying mantis, after all, is a predator. It is patient, strategic, and merciless when necessary. In the natural world, it is notorious not only for its camouflage and precision, but also for its reputation as a cannibalistic mate, cold, calculated, and efficient. Researchers like Howe often wonder, are we projecting our primal fears onto the unknown? Or is there something about the mantis archetype that reflects the truth about these beings? Why are so many independent witnesses reporting such similar visuals, down to intricate, repeating details like the texture of the skin, the function of the hands, or the shimmering quality of the eyes? Let's circle back to their reported agenda. Neutral, say most sources. Some abductees even report a fleeting feeling of gratitude or reverence in the aftermath, almost as if their minds have been tampered with to minimize trauma, or perhaps to instill a form of compliance. And yet, neutral is in the eye of the beholder. For every account of the insectoids simply observing, there are chilling stories of psychological manipulation, painful experiments, and post-abduction repercussions that echo for years. So what do we genuinely know? When abductees recount their encounters, one thing remains consistent. The mantis beings are never chaotic. Unlike the Greys, who may seem robotic, and the Nordics, who project warmth or superiority, the insectoids embody calculated, hierarchical presence. They seem completely uninterested in human social cues, but are diligent, even obsessive, in their supervision. Some experts propose that their aloofness may not be malevolence at all, but an incomprehensible form of alien ethics. If your morality evolves as a predator, priest, insectoid, not mammalian, what would care even mean? Here's a theory to twist our understanding further. What if the mantis beings are not visitors, but ancient players in Earth's evolutionary story? Some abductees claim visions or memories suggesting these entities have monitored life on Earth for millennia, perhaps even tinkering with genetics through the eons. This lines up with another fascinating report pattern. The mantis aliens are often seen as keepers of bizarre technology, fiendishly advanced devices that can alter memory, biology, or even time perception. Imagine this. You're subjected to a procedure, your memories wiped, your body analyzed. The mantis physician records everything not as a mammal would, but as a detached clinical observer, interpreting all life as data points. So the story grows stranger still. Some abductees report the mantis beings expressing concern for the planet, communicating dire ecological warnings about environmental destruction, sent telepathically, accompanied by vivid imagery of ruined landscapes. Is this a show of alien stewardship or simply part of a larger experiment, measuring humanity's response to existential threats? Let's touch briefly on the spiritual undertones. Why do so many describe the mantis as priestly? Their appearance during abductions is often accompanied by a sensation of overwhelming reverence, awe, or even, paradoxically, serenity. It's as if their very presence short-circuits the usual terror of alien contact. One theory posits that the mantis might, in some way, derive information or even sustenance from human emotional states. Fear, awe, even a kind of programmed gratitude. If this is true, are we unwilling participants in a psychological harvest? The dichotomy deepens when we consider how these beings, so often described as neutral or supervising, are almost never reported as warm or caring. Instead, their concern seems focused on data, patterns in the maintenance of some grand, opaque project. But here's where the narrative fractures. Some rare reports tell of mantis figures showing compassion, healing injuries, offering elusive words of comfort, and in some cases imparting knowledge or insights that profoundly alter the abductee's understanding of reality. Are these exceptions or glimpses into a broader spectrum of intent? Is the mantis alien simply impossible to fit into our binary categories of good and evil, predator and priest? Compare this to the Greys, the classic worker drone, efficient, unemotional, but ultimately directed by a more calculating intelligence. Who then are the architects in this system? Many researchers suspect the Mantis aliens command entire abduction teams, setting agendas that the lower ranks carry out. Why do they need us? That is perhaps the ultimate question. If we are subjects, does that imply there is a plan, a goal whose nature we cannot comprehend? For some, the idea is unbearable. What if the unimaginable gulf between human and mantis understanding means we are simply tools, means to an end, the same as insects are to us? Or perhaps the reality is far more nuanced. What if the mantis beings are running a simulation, a test not just of humanity, but of their own project's viability? Are we participants, or are we the experiment itself? It's no accident that many who meet these beings come away changed, sometimes traumatized, and sometimes spiritually awakened, sometimes obsessed with cryptic messages about Earth's future or humanity's place in the cosmos. Is the presence of the mantis a warning, an experiment, or perhaps the opening rounds of a grander contact scenario? The answer, for now, remains just out of reach, locked behind the faceted, gleaming eyes of an entity as old and enigmatic as the stars. As always with these mysteries, context is everything. Through tireless research, people like Linda Moulton Howe may never unmask the entire story, but each testimony, each repeat encounter, adds another ominous piece to this cosmic puzzle. Whether you see the mantis beings as cold scientists, spiritual overseers, or morally ambiguous predators, the fact remains, people from all walks of life, all over the globe, are seeing the same thing. And that similarity demands our attention. The next time you see a praying mantis in your garden, consider, what if the line between the familiar insect and the cosmic overseer is thinner than we imagine? Could the mantis visitors be a living reflection of Earth's own predatory elegance, spun outward into the universe by intelligence unknown? As we close today's dossier, remember, the truth, if it's out there, may be more unsettling and more complex than any sci-fi tale. The insectoids, the mantis aliens, remain a riddle wrapped in wings and compound eyes, gazing back at us from the darkness. Thanks for watching Vetted Shorts. What do you think about the mantis beings? Cosmic caretakers, emotionless experimenters, or something even stranger? Let's hear your theories in the comments below, and tell us what alien archetype, mysterious encounter, or unexplained phenomenon you want us to break down next. Make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the unexplained and hit the bell so you never miss our next cosmic case file. Until then, keep your mind open and your eyes on the skies.